Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com.
Oh my, I'm so excited. By the way, too, thank you again for all the feedback we continue to have when I recently had on Nick Lowry, Hall of Fame, Kansas City. And again, you can check him out at the next Eliances Grand Table where he'll be presenting. So make sure that you message into Eliances.com and go to Eliances.com, Eliances.com. All right, so I'm extremely excited about our next guest. He is just absolutely incredible. I've had him on before, the honor. And so welcome to the stage. By the way, before I tell you who he is one of the most influential sports agents in history. He's represented more than 300 professional athletes, negotiated over $4 billion in contracts. And if that wasn't enough, he's been the film Jerry Maguire was inspired by him and helping to transform physician advocacy through ND Envoy, which we'll also talk about. And if that isn't enough, he has a new book coming out called The Comeback, a playbook for turning life's setbacks into victories. So welcome to the show, the one and only Leigh Steinberg.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, I mean, I really want to jump into this. And first of all, how did you even get into the industry and working with some of the most recognized names in sports history?
I was a dorm counselor in an undergrad dorm at UC Berkeley, working my way through law school, and they moved the freshman football team into the dorm, and one of the students was the quarterback, Steve Bartkowski. In 1975, he became the first player selected overall in the NFL draft, and he asked me to represent him. So there I was, brimming with legal experience, just a couple of years out of law school, and he was the first pick, and we got the largest rookie contract. And there really wasn't a recognized field of sports agentry then. Teams could just slam the phone down and say, we don't deal with agents. So that was 52 years ago, and we're still rolling.
Now, it's like negotiation really it's a delicate thing. How do you negotiate properly, whether it's within sports or people that are listening, maybe perhaps like my daughter, of, how to negotiate a raise really without pissing off the other person?
So I think the most important skill in life and business is listening. If you can draw out another person and cut below their surface responses to get to their value system and priorities and discover their deepest anxieties and fears and greatest hopes and dreams. If you can put yourself in the other person's heart and mind and see the world the way they see it, then negotiation becomes win-win. And if you can figure out a creative way to fulfill the other side's goals as well as your own, then it's a win-win.
That's great. And again, I'm still in shock of your skill of have negotiated over $4 billion in contracts. Heck, even keeping a track of all of those contracts is enough of a nightmare. Let's talk about your book too, is The Comeback. It's a playbook for turning life's setbacks into victories. People see you, and those that may not know you well think, well, what possible setback could he have? Now, you and I have talked in the past and stuff, but, will you please share some of that really kind of deep insight in that? And then most of all is, how did you get through it?
So I lived a very charmed life for most of my years, had athletes that were role models, tried to make a difference in the world. But there came a time in the early 2000s where there were a series of events that happened in my life, and I turned to the wrong way to deal with them, which is alcohol and drinking. And I finally got to the point where it had become so unmanageable that I hit a bottom and moved out of my home, shut my office down and focused on sobriety. So all of us in life will face setbacks, sometimes unexpected. Could be financial, could be health and wellness, it could be marital or relationship, or in my case, addictive substances. So the question is not whether that will happen in some form, it will happen to us all. So I wrote the comeback to try and help people who are struggling figure out how to find the light at the end of the tunnel and how to encompass the quality of resilience, the ability in the midst of devastation and despondency to figure out how to come back. And so the book details how I did it, how I joined a 12-step program within a unique fellowship, and put my life back together, and ended up ultimately putting our representation firm back together. And so I wrote it to help people.
I think that's so well needed, especially now than ever. There's a lot of challenges that are happening with life, and sometimes it's just like, why get up? What's going to make me get up and get that first step? So certainly, and make sure that you get his book. Please make sure you get his book. We'll also be providing a link to, and you can get it, I assume, online. Is it pretty much on most of the places online? Amazon,
Barnes and Noble, Amazon, or your local bookstore.
Great. Well, you're probably one of the busiest person that is, and yet if that's not enough, now you've got another company that you've launched, MD Envoy. Is that right? So, yeah. And before you answer that, is how in the world do you have any time for that, given your schedule and how busy and how much in demand you are?
Well, first of all, I have great staffing, so I don't have to do it all. And second of all, I think the key is to focus on what's in front of you and put all your energy and time. I mean, in this world of social media and cell phones and everything, people get distracted. But at this exact moment, all I'm thinking about is the sound of your voice and the text and subtext for what you're asking me. And every bit of energy I have is in this situation. I met a really enlightened, amazing human being named Dr. Michael Suk. And we got to talking about the fact that there might be a model in sports agency for physician representation. I mean, if you think about it, both groups have irreplaceable skill set. They both employ a complex group of information in real time. They focus on their craft, maybe to the exclusion of doing long-term career planning or financial planning, and power exists somewhere other than them. And so physicians remind me of athletes in the early days where didn't have the right of representation, and eventually they got a union and a collective bargaining agreement. So doctors, when they deal with HMOs and insurance companies and hospitals, it's a power imbalance. And taking the same approach we do with athletes, it's understanding their goals and aspirations on an individual basis, then laying out a career plan, then doing job placement, then it's a negotiation process, and then it's the financial planning that doctors notoriously have, in some cases, not done a great job on, and then creating content. So doctors that may have aspirations about being on television, doing a podcast, public speaking. They're a rich source of content. And so Dr. Shuk and I have helped put this together with the help of a great group of co-executives. And we're empowering doctors, making their dreams come true, helping to fulfill them.
Yeah, that's great. And again, the ability for you to be able to manage so much that's going on. I think this is a very important, next question though for you. And this is something that our listeners and viewers want to know is, what do you personally hope that your legacy will be?
So my dad raised me with two core values. One was treasure relationships, especially family. So was I a good father? Was I a good son? Was I a good husband? Was I present in friendship for friends of mine who might be going through tough circumstances? And then ultimately, what did we leave of value to the world? Can we be healers and heal pain and look out for other people? And so it's the thing I'm proudest of is the community and social programs that the athletes do, where work done put the 220th single family in their first home they'll ever own by making a down payment and moving them in. Or Patrick Mahomes has his 15 in the Mahomies. It helps at-risk kids in hospitals, kids in adverse circumstances. So it's I'm in no illusion that newspaper clippings or fame are going to pass into the next stage of existence. Did I make a difference? Did I care?
For sure, 1,000% a difference. That's right. Leigh Steinberg, premier sports agent, entrepreneur, best-selling author and founder of Leigh Steinberg Foundation, best known for his work building athletes and his standalone brands, and he's often credited as the real-life inspiration for the Oscar-winning film Jerry Maguire. Make sure that you go to ndnvoy.com, and as always, Leigh, it's been an honor to be able to interview you, and we're not going to wait a couple more years until our next interview.